Good morning, everyone. Let us start today a new chapter on emotions. Before discussing what the emotions are, I think all of us experience moods, feelings and emotions. Is there any difference between these three? Probably everyone might have thought, what is this difference between feelings, moods and emotions? Like for example, today morning you have seen a new rose in the garden with a different color. Definitely, how do you feel? Is it an emotion, is it a mood or is it a feeling? The moment you look at the flower, a red color or a yellow color or some other new color, how do you experience it? A pleasant feeling, a happiness, that is something like a feeling. And after that, you were very much scolded very badly by your parents for not doing various things. Like till past week, they have given you so much of work, but unfortunately you didn't complete anything. So your father scolded, followed by your mother's scoldings, and then you had a fight with your sibling, and then when you came to the college, they said there is a boycott, or the teacher is not there, or some other incident. So you feel like the total day is wasted from morning till the evening. So is that a feeling? So you feel like it is a mood, you will go into a bad mood, you will go into a negative mood. It is not just a feeling, but you have been carrying your feelings, your moods from morning till what you have experienced. Okay? So there is a slight difference between feelings and the moods. Feeling is momentary, that is at that moment you may be having a positive feeling or a negative feeling. Whereas a mood, even after going home, the moment you look at your parents or you look at your brother or sister, you remember the morning's fight, and so you don't feel like talking to them unless they come and talk to you. That is a mood which continued throughout the day. Then what is emotion? Emotion is more complex than feelings and moods. Like, do you remember any incident of your childhood? Even now when you recollect that incident, you feel very happy, very excited. That is something emotional, more complex than the feelings and the moods. Or you might have lost one of your loved ones. It could be a father, it could be a mother, it could be a friend, anyone. So whenever you think of that person, you will go into the sadness, you experience that depression. That is an emotion, it is not just a feeling or a mood. So when compared to the feelings and the moods, emotions are more complex. But let us know what is this emotion, because nowadays these emotions are becoming more popular. So what is emotion? Emotions are something, your subjective feelings characterized by your physiological reactions, cognitive appraisals, and then it leads to the behavior. For example, you are having the exams. Okay, within 2 days or 3 days or within a week, your exams are going to start. You didn't prepare anything, you didn't collect the information. Okay, can you say that your mood is affected? Can you say just I am having a negative feeling? Slowly you start experiencing some kind of a fear. So out of this fear, when someone is allotting some other work, your father says go to the bank and do this work, or mother says you help me in the kitchen, immediately you show all your frustration, anger. Always you want me to do the work, why don't you ask our sister or brother? So it is not just a feeling or a mood, you are becoming emotional because some stimulus like exam is trying to encounter upon you. Any behavior has 3 components. This also has cognitive component, how you are analyzing the situations, how you are trying to understand, and then how you are trying to act. Okay? And these emotions, how do you develop these emotions? Do we learn these emotions or are we born with the emotions? Did you ever thought of this? Generally people say like we learn, we are not born with the emotions. But if that is the case, just a newborn infant, a newborn child immediately cries. Crying is an emotion, right? Who taught the child to cry? Whenever the child is feeling hungry, the child starts crying. Or whenever there is any uncomfortable situation that he is experiencing on the bed, when the bed becomes wet, immediately he tries to cry. That is, the crying is for the help, like I am not happy here, please take care of me. So we are born with the basic emotions. especially the basic emotions, are inherited to some extent. What are the basic emotions? Feeling happy, feeling sad, pleasant emotions, unpleasant emotions. There are only two emotions which we are born with, pleasant, that is smiling, feeling happy, not feeling happy, and crying. These are the two emotions which we are born with. Can we say that the child knows how to feel jealous, how to feel, how to express the depression or anything? No. Only there are two basic emotions which are further developed into various range of emotions. And many psychologists classified these emotions into different categories. Two opposites they are, joy and sadness. Either you will be experiencing joy or sadness at any moment. Definitely you are not sad now, but happy, okay, comfortable, okay. Anger and fear. The other experience is surprise and anticipation. Like when your father or brother expected or promised you any gift, that is not a surprise, you are anticipating it. You got good marks and so you are expecting, you are anticipating some reinforcement, some reward from one of your family members. But suppose without any such information, suddenly if they give you anything, that is more exciting, you become more emotional, okay. So the emotions are of different kinds. And similarly acceptance and disgust. When everyone likes you, the teachers, family members, friends, you feel very happy. But when everyone is trying to criticize you, when no one is trying to understand you, you feel you are disgusted. I don't like these people, I don't want to be with these people, I want to be away from the people. So these are different pairs of emotions, and in the process of our experiences, we try to experience them in different forms. So basically joy and sadness, anger and fear, surprise and anticipation, and similarly acceptance and disgust. So these are the basic emotions. As the child is developing, emotions are also developed. Generally, we focus on the physical development, cognitive development, social development and personality development. But emotional development also takes place along with the other milestones. But unfortunately, we don't give much importance to this emotional development. So when the child is playing with the others, the child learns. It is not always whatever I get, I feel happy, but whenever I share something with the others, I also feel happy, or others also feel happy and so they try to play with me. The child tries to experience or share this joy with the others. As the child is growing, whenever the child is asking something and you say like, I don't want to give it to you, how the child shows the anger or feeling expression? Immediately the child tries to show it in the fist, or the child tries to grab something, never wants to leave it. That is a feeling of anger. The child may not be knowing that I am showing anger, I am expressing anger, but that reflects in the actions, okay. Then what are the other emotions? Feeling happy, like when the child is celebrated his first birthday or second birthday, when the child looks at the people around, the child gets excited. That is, from the general excitement, the child slowly learns to understand there are various positive emotions, feeling happy, feeling pleasant, okay, getting the joy, all these aspects. But there are also negative aspects. The child not only learns the positive side of the emotions, but also learns the negative side of the emotions. That is, feeling unhappy. The child doesn't get everything whatever the child is asking. Naturally, the child expresses the sorrow, the child shows it in the form of crying. And slowly the child says like, I don't like this person, develops the hatred. The children develop some kind of an anxiety whenever they look at the people, because I don't like this person, I don't want to talk to them, I don't want to be with them. So an anxiety is also experienced by the child, the separation anxiety which we say. That is, whenever someone is trying to take the child from the mother or sending the child to the school, the child immediately experiences separation anxiety. So these are some of the negative emotions, and as the child is growing towards the adolescence and the later adulthood years, we also experience depression, sadness, okay, jealousy. And in this competitive world, naturally, like the more the other person is trying to compete with you, naturally you feel very jealous, okay, when you are not able to get the fruits of it. So these are some of the things which you have acquired. So some emotions you are learning in the process of your development by interacting with the others, whereas some emotions, they are basically inborn, irrespective of which caste, religion, culture and race. Every child all over the world have some basic emotions. So this is about the acquisition and the development of emotions. Men are good at expressions or women are good at expressions? Generally they say women are good at expressions, okay, whatever be their emotion, positive or negative. If they are angry, they try to express it. If they are very happy also, it is difficult to control them, whereas men are little reserved in showing or exhibiting their emotions. But this kind of expressions can be seen in the physiological reactions, in your subjective feelings, that is in your behavior, and also in your thought process, how you are trying to understand, how you are labeling this kind of an emotion. So the physiology of emotion. Can we say that the brain is controlling the emotions? We say mind and body are two sides of the same coin. You cannot separate your mind, you cannot separate your body. Whatever feelings you are experiencing, definitely that is controlled by your nervous system. So the part of the brain definitely plays an important role whether you are expressing the emotions or controlling the emotions. And similarly, we can say this is the sympathetic nervous system, which is very essential. Whenever you are feeling sad, how the body changes, how the bodily symptoms change. Whenever you are angry or whenever you are afraid of something, how you are experiencing it. So there are different physiological reactions which you experience. Can we say that physiological reactions are separate for each different emotion? Depending upon your heart rate, can I say what experience, what emotional experience you are experiencing it? No. So though there are different experiences, emotional experiences and physiological reactions, it is difficult to identify when the person is angry, how the reactions will be. When the person is afraid of something, how the emotional reactions are, okay? But still there is a thin line between these which can be understood. For example, when you are experiencing fear, you are asked to go to the CM's office and meet some personality there. Everyone cannot go on a smooth line. The moment they go there, whatever they wanted to talk, they are unable to talk it. That is the fear. How should I approach? So that is another aspect. Then when you are angry, like generally we see like going against the authorities or going against the parents' rules and principles, how you try to raise the voice. Out of fear, you don't raise the voice, but out of angry, definitely like you try to raise the voice and other things. So when you are under the fear, the temperature goes down, the heart rate will be low, these aspects take place. When you are angry, naturally the heart rate will be more, the perspiration rate will increase. So there are physiological reactions which are different for different emotions, but outwardly which we cannot observe. Only by using the gadgets, we can test the blood pressure, we can test the GSR, that is galvanic skin response and other aspects. Then do you know that left hemisphere of the brain functions in a different way with the emotions, right hemisphere of the brain functions in a different hemisphere. All our negative emotions, that is fear, sadness, anxiety, all these things are controlled by the left hemisphere of the brain, whereas right hemisphere is more towards the positive side. So people who are right-handed, probably, the researchers say probably tend to have more optimistic attitude rather than the left-handed people. But always there may be an exception. Then coming to the behavioral part, whatever we have discussed now, that is physiological aspects, heart rate, blood pressure and other things, but how that is seen in the behavior. Like you are saying, I am confident enough to come and stand and give a lecture, but you are experiencing the fear or shyness. How will I know that in your behavior? You may not be verbally saying it, but non-verbal, that is body language, plays an important role. Most of the children or most of the adults experience stage fear. Why is it? And how we know that they are experiencing the stage fear? Because they don't verbally say it, but when we observe them, definitely we know like this person is experiencing the stage fear. So through the body language, face is the index of the mind. Facial expressions are important. We say eyes are the windows of the soul. Whether I am able to maintain the eye contact or not. Suppose like a person is lying something. Can you say that the person is lying or saying the truth? We can make it, unless if he is a professional liar and if we cannot detect it. Okay? But otherwise, any normal individual, when he speaks lie, definitely it is easy for us to infer whatever he is saying is not truth. Okay? Then, when you are angry with a person, but which you don't want to say it verbally, still you can reflect it in your face. You don't know that how your face has changed towards the person, but the person knows that my arrival, my presence, this person is not liking. That is frown face. Or when something, bad incident you are hearing, immediately your face becomes sad. You don't say that I am keeping my face in a sad way, but automatically the face reflects according to the situations, according to the emotional experiences. So happy smiles, blue smiles, you know what are blue smiles? Blue smiles are something like you are feeling sad but still give a lip smile, okay, just for the courtesy sake. And then angry face, that is frowning, all these things, though you verbally don't say that, they can be reflected in your body expressions, that is facial expressions. Then Charles Darwin, he is a very popular person, everyone knows. He says emotions were a product of evolution and they are universal. That is, across the world, different age groups, different cultures, you see some of the emotions which are very basic. Anywhere in the world, the child cries whenever the child is not happy or whenever the child is feeling very sick. Okay? These expressions are universal. But at the same time, he says that the facial muscles have been developed in such a way to communicate all our facial expressions. So all over the world, everyone has almost the same kind of the muscles, that is nurtured muscles in order to communicate different expressions. But only difference is when to express the emotion, how to express the emotion, how to control the emotions, that varies from culture to culture. For example, Japanese people, they don't exhibit emotions in the public, but in their private lives, that is at home, they are more good at exhibiting the emotions. Okay? So there are variations from culture to culture. Similarly, we say like there are certain display rules. These display rules are different for each culture. Indian culture, what are the ways and means? How to speak, how not to speak, when to express the emotions, when not to express the emotions. What is right here may not be right in American culture. What is right in the American culture may not be right here. These are called as display rules, and these vary from culture to culture. And these also differ from individualistic societies and the collectivistic societies. Individualistic societies, they are nothing but, if you take Western countries, they give more importance to the individual rather than to the society. So there in those countries, emotions are exhibited more in terms of pride, arrogance, okay, I am right kind of an attitude is easily reflected there. Whereas in the Asian countries like China, Japan, India, we try to control our emotions if we feel that it hurts others, okay, that is collectivistic nature. So these are called as the different ways of expressing the emotions. Then how we express the emotions also depend upon how we label them. How do you know that you are experiencing anger, fear or surprise? It depends. Like for example, the moment you take the question paper in the examination hall, two people may not be good at writing, they didn't prepare anything, but one person automatically starts crying, another person takes, okay, whatever I know, I try to remember the concept and write it. So that is the person who is appraising the situation, who feels, okay, there is nothing wrong, whatever I know, I'll try to write it. So the way he is trying to understand the situation is different, that is labeling the situation is different, whereas the other person who immediately labeled as, okay, if I can't write, I will fail in the exam, then what would be the consequence? He is going beyond the present situation. So naturally, how you assess, how you label, accordingly you will be moving forward. You will be experiencing the expressions. So labeling is very much important. And how you label the emotions, suppose if you had a bad experience with your parents, you didn't get good marks and you got a punishment, what happens? The child immediately, when he is in the same situation, definitely becomes very stressful, because already he experienced what sort of consequences he has seen earlier. Okay? So that labeling depends upon our previous experiences. But are the emotions good or bad, effective or ineffective, adaptive or disruptive? Emotions are both constructive and also destructive. So for example, like they will help us to be ready for the action, fight or flight. Okay, I am seeing a dog here, I am afraid of the dogs, but I don't wait till the dog comes to me, immediately I just change my way. Okay? Or something I am trying to foresee, the notification has come for the exams, so I didn't start anything, let me start. The fear in me made me work hard. So it could be making us prepared to handle the situation. It also shapes our future behavior. Sometimes we say like, I am too emotional, I have to change, I have to reduce this component, that is my weakness. I become very sensitive even in the minor situations. So this makes you analyze where you are going wrong in understanding the people or in understanding yourself, and then proceed. Then they also help us to deal effectively with the others, that is improves our interpersonal relationships. Sometimes you may not be liking the person, but just saying a hello, that indicates, that enhances the respect for you or liking for you. So certain things, once we know about ourselves, definitely we can understand others better. Okay? So this is basically about emotions. If you have any doubts regarding the basics of the emotions, you can just ask any questions.
Ma'am, can we measure emotions?
Definitely, we can assess the emotions, we can measure the emotions. One way is by observing, we can infer what sort of experiences the person is undergoing. Observation may not always be accurate. So in such cases, we can use the different psychological tests which will reveal the emotions of the person, that is anxiety, stress, anger, humor, all these things we can assess by using the number of psychological tests. Then similarly, when you use the gadgets, that is whatever equipment we use to assess the BP or GSR, galvanic skin response, in order to measure the perspiration, we can use the sphygmometer, and then to understand whether the person is giving true information or lying, we use the polygraph, that is lie detectors. So using the equipment, we can understand the emotions, using the psychological tests, we can understand the emotions, and also observation, one of the traditional ways of using it.
Ma'am, how can we say that women are good at expression of emotions?
It is the role of the culture which plays an important role. From childhood, they are more sensitive, they are trained probably, or even biologically also compared to men, they are more sensitive. So naturally, they try to share the information, they try to understand it, and whatever they have understood, they try to express it. Whereas the same culture, they made the person more, that is, they made the male member more into an individualistic, more of an authoritative, like trained him to be more reserved rather than becoming more sensitized. It is not that men are bad or good, they are also equally good at reciprocating the emotions. But the problem here is, suppose did you see any person, any male member crying? Very rarely we see, under different occasions, specific occasions, but not like girls where frequently we see tears in them. That is the role of the culture, the stereotypical child bringing up, that is playing an important role. So here we can, because the women are exhibiting it, because women are showing, we say they are more good at expressions. It is not, but at the same time that male members are bad at expressing, it is the role of the culture which stands as a barrier, that male person, he should behave in this way. From the childhood we see that if the child cries, that is a boy child cries, immediately the parents say, why you are crying like a girl? So, from the childhood we are training it. So, the culture is the barrier, it is not the individual himself. Okay, now let us just look at the overview of the emotions. Emotions are universal, basic emotions are part of our inherited process, and most of them will be acquired in the process of development. Okay. And according to Charles Darwin, we have to attribute the emotions to the process of evolution itself, but definitely like emotions can be adaptive, emotions can be disruptive, we have to use them in the proper channel, in a proper mode. And how we express the emotions, you can observe your own physiological reactions, you can understand others' physiological reactions to infer their behavior, you can focus on the not only on the verbal language, but also on the non-verbal, that is body language, to understand the proper accurate emotions of the individuals and also yourself. And third aspect is the cognitive element, how much weightage you are giving, how much stress, that is how much emphasis you are giving onto that particular situation. Accordingly, it depends upon whether you are becoming emotional or just taking it in the very lighter vein. So, this is what we have understood about the emotions, which are a basic part of our personality. There cannot be a personality without emotions. If you see any emotionless person, that is definitely that is a disordered personality. So, only thing is we have to channelize our emotions in a proper way.